Hi everyone, it's Tiffany here. Good morning. It's Saturday morning and welcome to today's challenge, the Empowered Empath Challenge Day 4, where I'll be talking about healing the inner child to shift our sense of being inadequate or not worthy or not good enough to I am all that I need to be. And also connecting with the inner child gives us a lot of insights and a lot of answers that we're searching for our lives. For example, what happened to me and where did this fear come from? What is this really about? What are my emotional needs? And how to find clarity around my life purpose. So stay tuned to this video to join me. I am Tiffany. I am a transformational teacher and international teacher. International healer. So I am talking a little quieter today because I think my neighbors upstairs are sleeping. So hopefully you guys can still hear me. So why do we want to work on the inner child? So I'm a firm believer as a healer and teacher that we always need to work on our light side, but also shifting the shadow side, transforming the shadows, any blockages, doubts into a higher frequency, right? We are alchemists. We can go into our inner core, find out all the lead that's in there that's weighting us down, that is keeping us stuck, keeping us in the container, and transmuting it into gold, into our golden light. So the more that you combine light work and shadow work together, the more effective and is gonna be, right? So a lot of empaths, starseeds, and light workers that work with me, they are ready to create a radical change in their life. They are ready for rapid ascension in their lives. So they do a combination of both. And I really see the difference in accelerating their growth and their ascension. So to begin with today's teaching, think of yourself like a dipole magnet. So understanding the law of magnetism. A lot of times when you study the law of attraction or spirituality, people will tell you to focus on the love and light only. But for me, I realized that in my journey, we also have a shadow side. So we can't just bypass our pain. We can't just bypass responsibilities or integrity and just focus on the love and light. Of course, there are times where you have to use your discernment to see, okay, from this experience, I'm feeling low right now, I'm feeling blue, I'm feeling upset. What modality is gonna work best with me? Maybe some days you don't wanna do your shadow work, you wanna do your light work. And some days you need to do some shadow work to release some of those blockages. So you yourself as a dipole magnet, one side is going to be attracting the things that you're desiring. But then on the other side, you need to look at the other end of yourself, which is the shadow self, and see if there's anything that you're repelling or resisting. So a lot of times, consciously, for example, a person might be wanting to be in a relationship or seeking their twin flame or their soulmate. But when you dive a little deeper, on the other side of the magnet, there's a part of themselves that is really afraid to be vulnerable, to connect with someone. So as a result, they kind of put up this energetic wall, and people can sense that, right? We're all empaths. And when we sense that wall, sometimes it causes to not approach that person. And as a result, that person might be blocking their desire or their journey. So it's important to always look at yourself as a dipole magnet. And every time we work on ourselves, we are transmuting more of that resistance into attraction. So understanding that you're constantly shifting into a higher and higher frequency by doing this work on yourself. So why do we want to work on our inner child? A lot of times our trauma happened in our early childhood, and any time between from a baby to the age of 8, our brain is still really developing. It's still really absorbing information. So we are very susceptible to the influences in our surroundings, right? Medically speaking, the human brain is not fully developed until the age of 25. So this is where scientists now start to understand neuroplasticity in the brain, like knowing that when you were young, you were always told that you're a certain way, you're gonna have a neural pathway in your brain that tells you, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe being angry is bad, or maybe crying means that I'm not strong enough. So as an adult, because you're so focused on your current perspective, you kind of forget about what's happening in the subconscious. And a lot of psychologists, they always tell you that a lot of your desires and what influences people's action is always through the subconscious desires. So understanding your subconscious mind is going to be very beneficial and give you a lot of insights to help you really know yourself really well. And your inner child is also a part of your consciousness. In the 5D world, our brain is very linear and we think really constricted inside a box. But really, time and space itself is very malleable. Time is not linear. As we shift more and more into the 5D energy, timeline, you may feel, the sensitive people now may feel that time is not super linear anymore. So when you're doing something like past life regression, you're bringing your consciousness back to opening your Akash, traveling to a past life, shifting the vibration of that past life and raising your vibration, releasing the blockages. Same concept, except with inner child healing, we're going into the present life, the current life, to release the blockages, which is quite powerful for some of us because a lot of times we forget about that aspect of ourselves who's still inside. When I work with clients, a lot of times the first time when they meet their inner child, they cry, they feel intense emotion arising because they realize that they've abandoned that aspect of themselves. So as an adult, if you struggle with rejecting yourself, doubting yourself, feeling that you're not worthy, you need to go back and find that inner child who really is trying to communicate with you. In the previous videos, I've talked about how emotions are like a signal from your higher self or your inner self trying to speak to you, to transform and help you grow and help you raise your frequency. So use that as a compass that, hey, maybe there's an aspect in the inner child of me that's trying to communicate with me. So let me know if you've heard about inner child before. Have you worked with your inner child? Or if this is completely new for you, type in the chat box. Tell me, yes, I have, or no, I haven't. This is completely new to me. And another thing, so there's 3 main benefits with doing inner child healing work with me. So, or with other practitioners, whoever you do it with, but I have a specific way of doing it. So one is reconnecting with yourself deeply and genuinely, like healing deep emotional wounds. A lot of times when we went through trauma in childhood, for me, throughout my healing journey, I started doing yoga and meditation. Then I was also doing CBT and DBT therapy. And it came to a point where I still realized there's something missing. And I tapped into the spiritual world. I found out what soul retrieval is. I found out what is the inner child. And from there, that was the last step that I needed the last stepping stone that I need to get myself in alignment with my soul mission right now, which is to be a teacher and a healer. But without doing that work, I don't think I would have made that jump. I don't think I would have gotten that breakthrough that I really needed. And it's really amazing when I see my really committed clients go on this journey and finding real results, like manifesting concrete and tangible results in their lives. The second benefit, like I mentioned, is soul retrieval. So soul retrieval is to help you release any attachments and help you heal fragmentation. So what the inner child is, if you have anything that you feel stuck, is that part of yourself is still stuck in that time-space reality. Think of yourself like source energy. And whenever energy is beaming down into your physical body, sometimes whenever like a trauma happens, a part of your consciousness can actually fracture and get stuck in that time-space reality. And so this aspect of you, the adult, keep moving on, in your life, there's this part of you that's still stuck here. And so this is where a lot of people feel like they're going forward, but then they hit a wall. They're going forward, but they hit a wall. It's the same pattern manifesting over and over again. And that was what happened to me. I realized with my past relationships, I'm like, why do I keep attracting these men that are so emotionally disconnected? And when I went back, when I did this process on myself, I realized that there's like a little Tiffany there who's still stuck on some of the trauma with her dad. So by going in and healing those memories, going in to resolve it, going in to shift the vibration and to alchemically change the frequency of that memory, so that I have a whole new perspective in that, I was able to meet the needs of my inner child. And when I did the soul retrieval, have it integrate back into my body, it came back to my aura in the lower back. And after that, I was like a changed person. It wasn't easy, but it definitely was something that dramatically changed my life. The third thing is also, this is a practice of self-love. When you learn to do inner child healing, you're really learning how to speak to yourself and coach yourself to apply compassion to yourself. This is the practice that we need to become consistent, to gain confidence, and to gain mastery in self-healing and empowerment. So the challenge I have for you today is start differentiating your core beliefs. A lot of times we internalize a certain thing being wrong or not right because someone in our past told us that by doing that, you are bad, or you're a bad girl for getting angry, or you're a bad boy for crying. To really understand that core belief and knowing that we can shift it to what that action maybe wasn't so helpful, or that this action maybe it's not the best for me. Create that separation between being good and doing good is completely different. And we now see conscious parenting, they always talk about this. Don't say to your children that they are bad. Tell them that that action that they're doing is not in alignment with high frequency. Number two is, not only can you use inner child healing for healing emotional wounds, so releasing trauma or heavy energies, that's emotions that are stuck in the body, you can also use to amplify great memories. For example, a client that I work with, she's gone through a lot of trauma, but one day I asked her to tap into this memory where she did feel taken care of, where she did feel that she's happy. And she was able to find this one memory as herself at 4 years old. And we use that memory a lot to help her amplify and cultivate the same feeling, the same frequency into her body. And she's slowly absorbing more and more on that. And she's now slowly gaining back confidence, feeling really better again, and feeling hopeful in her life. So I would challenge you to see if you can close your eyes, take a deep breath, and tune into your heart. Remember a time when you were a child, when you were really happy, and at a point in the experience, you have your needs met, you feel very loved, you feel very taken care of. And really feel into that vibration, become that little girl, become that little boy, and have that feeling spread and expand and grow all alongside your body. Let yourself be compliant to that frequency and really feel into it. Then, once you're in this state, to use that energy, combine it with the law of attraction teachings, combine it with positive affirmations. I guarantee you that you're going to outpower the way you manifest your reality by doing this. The third thing you can do for this challenge is to take out a piece of paper. And if you have a picture of yourself as your inner child, so I will share with you one of my old pictures. The first time when I visualized my inner child, that's who I visualized. It was me in this little pink dress that my mom knitted for me. And that's how I visualized my first inner child. So having a picture in mind or physically, and start writing a letter to your inner child saying, "Dear little Tiffany," and using words that connects with them. For example, "I feel," "I hear you," "I see you," well, "I am completely open to hearing what you have to say to me," or "I'm completely here to open and listen. I am unconditionally here for you." Start writing out that letter. And I know that it seems like so easy. A lot of you probably like, I don't have time to do it. But I guarantee you, if you would take that time, that 5 to 10 minutes to write that letter to your inner child self, even just by doing that, I've seen a lot of people in my workshops who's made breakthrough. They find insights that they like, "Wow, I cannot believe this is what I wrote," or "Wow, I cannot believe how deep that exercise is. It sounds so simple." So actually try it out yourself. Try going on and writing this out in your journal, in a piece of paper, to release it, to gain some clarity. And let me know if you have any questions at this point, any insights you want to share. So you can also use this as a way to catch yourself, right? Like if a repeating pattern is happening over and over again, start going into a meditation. Visualize a safe space called safe haven or safe sanctuary, and call in your inner child self. Go and meet them and really start to connect with them by being unconditionally present. Right? That's the first step that I want you guys to do. You don't need to go too deep, but simply from today's challenge to make a connection energetically with that inner child, so that you're like, the connection is here. I can see them, I can feel them, I can interact with them, I can connect to the aspect of myself. And another tip I have for you is, the more you connect with your inner child, the more you'll be able to take better care of yourself. Because the next time you find yourself in this situation or saying some unkind words to yourself, you then think, oh, can I say these words to that little girl? Can I say these words to that little boy? A lot of us will answer, no, you can't. We love little children and we have that little inner child within us. So that can help you slowly shift your frequency from self-sabotaging and shame to unconditionally present and compassionate towards oneself. Amazing. So that is the live lesson today, live training today. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for joining me. And I'm excited for tomorrow's workshop. Tomorrow's teaching, is going to be on how to heal the emotional body. Getting off that emotional roller coaster and really coming into grounding of yourself. And remember, if you register for this challenge by clicking on the link in the description of the video, if you comment on every single video, just even a hi or an emoji letting me know that you're participating. And at the end of the challenge, I'm gonna enter your name into a draw, and the winner is gonna get one free healing session with me, valued at $120. And one last thing is, you can join us in the private group, Empowered Empaths of Light. In that Facebook group, even after the challenge, I'm going to keep doing more teachings, keep doing more healing in there. So join me in that group and come join like-minded people, getting support, getting a community that knows what you're struggling, how you're feeling, who can really understand where you're coming from. Amazing. So it is a long weekend. I hope everyone's gonna have a great, lovely long weekend with your friends and family. I'm going to head out soon to teach how to read, see, and heal the aura workshop later in the afternoon. That's gonna be awesome. And thank you so much for joining me in this challenge, and I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.